Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is September 14th, 2023, and we are getting into the volume 156, or actually 157, of me answering your immigration related questions. As always, I'm going to mention before beginning this video, as I mentioned in every video on this channel, I am not an immigration attorney. This is not a legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USAS and of course the Department of State with their visa bulletin. So let's start with the very first comment. Question from Raman Dillon 9974. Hi sir, I had an interview in August and it was cancelled after 7 days. After 7 days. It was cancelled after 7 days. What can be the reason for canceling the interview? IR1 category. So I'm assuming they scheduled it in August and then 7 days later they canceled it. So, you know, I would say possibly something with the medical examination. They didn't get documents, you know, fast enough, but doesn't sound like this is the case, because if they cancel it after 7 days, it doesn't even sound like you had a chance to go and, you know, do your medical examination, because they canceled it after 7 days. I'm thinking there might be something with the scheduling over there. Maybe they scheduled it by mistake. Maybe they scheduled it on the wrong day, on the wrong category. So I would definitely recommend reaching out to both NVC, submit a public inquiry with the NVC, and also reach out to the U.S. Embassy, the local U.S. Embassy that is. So I'm going to use this as an opportunity for everyone to demonstrate some navigation on the Department of State website, just to how to find basically that public inquiry form. So here you go. This is the visa bulletin for September 2023. This link for this page you can find in the description below. So from this page right here, you will click on Contact Us, and I'm going to open it in new tab. And we're going to scroll down. You will see US Visas Contacts right here. Click on that. And then you'll scroll down a little more and you will see this table in front of you, and the very first row of this table you will see email public inquiry form right here. So click on this public inquiry form. You will see again another page and we see contact information. Just scroll down just a little bit and you will see this line: online immigrant visa inquiries only, public inquiry form. Click on that and it will give you the public inquiry form. So here you will have to enter your NVC case or the USCIS receipt number, but you should have your NVC case number because you're that far in the process. Principal applicant's full name, that would be the beneficiary. Principal applicant's date of birth, again, beneficiary's date of birth. Petitioner's full name, who you are, petitioner or beneficiary. Email address, and then in the inquiry, just type in, you know, like you're typing an official cover letter, an official, basically, inquiry, saying that, hey, my name is this and this. Identify yourself, provide your case once again within this body. Always do that, just so that it's easier to identify, so that as soon as they see, you know, the email come in, they open it and they immediately know who that is, which case it is being referred to, so they don't have, you know, no extra steps to do to search for you. And then you can do the attachment here. You can actually attach, you can do the print screen of the email that you received, scheduling that interview, and attach here and send it. They are pretty quick, I gotta say. NVC is good with that. They are pretty quick responding to emails, to these public inquiry forms. Unfortunately, most of the times the response is very boilerplate. It's like, you know, oh, we are working on your case, you know, just be patient or something like that. So don't be too upset if that's what you get, but you do need to submit the inquiry just to be, you know, just to follow up and, you know, to make sure that it's not you, something missing. It's them, and they're figuring out, it's scheduling whatever, and they will fix the whatever happened, and then they will give you the new interview date. It's not something from your side that is missing or there's a problem. So that's that. I'm gonna post the response and I'm gonna put the link for the public inquiry form so that you don't have to search for it. And also, which is even more important, I don't know why this is pretty long, but yeah, this is the link. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I don't know why it says disabled at the very end, but anyway, another thing is to call the U.S. Embassy, where the interview was scheduled. Call them up. You can find their information at usembassy.gov, which gives you the list of all the all the countries around the world, and then click on any country, let's say Israel, and then it will give you the embassy. There you go, in Jerusalem, and this is their phone number, which looks kind of interesting. But if you're doubtful about the phone number, just click on their website, and then you can go through their website and find their embassy phone number. Call them, say, hey guys, I am in immediate relative category. My immigrant visa is already available. I'm documentarily qualified. I had the interview scheduled on this day, and then I got the cancellation notice. So I'm calling to see what happened and when my interview is going to be scheduled for. So 2 things, public inquiry form, and then call the embassy. Once you find out, please do come back to this channel and post a comment, and I'm sure everybody would be interested to hear what happened, why it was canceled, because it's really weird. It's really strange to hear cancellations. But in most cases, it's something with the scheduling at the U.S. Embassy or in a medical examination, which in your case, I don't think that is, because you didn't really have a chance to go and do that yet. Okay, moving further to Naomi Nunes says, thank you for the information. You're very welcome. I'm glad this was helpful. Moving further to VPG7866. Hello, have you got any experience with biometrics appointment for I-551 permanent resident card, green card, gained through diversity visa lottery? They have invited us for this appointment, code 2. Is it something we should be worried about? What happens after this appointment? Do we just wait for the green card to arrive to our address? Many thanks in advance. So you're very welcome. Thank you for posting your comment. I personally do not have any experience directly with the DV lottery at all. But whenever it comes to the biometrics appointments, they do it pretty much for... I'm trying to think of an application or the petition that does not have the biometrics involved. I think the only one that I can think of right now is a travel document, although now they might be doing the biometrics appointment for travel documents as well. So biometrics appointment is very straightforward. I would say there's really nothing to worry about. If it is as, for the DV lottery as it is for everything else, which I think it is, it's very straightforward. You're just going to the applications service center or application support, application center, whatever they're called. And basically you come in with your biometrics appointment notice, you show it to, whoever the person greets you at the, they direct you to, they have like these big fingerprint machines. So they take your picture, they do your fingerprints digitally on these machines, and that's really it. That's it. They put a stamp in your biometrics appointment notice just for your reference, saying that that's it. You satisfied the requirement for the biometrics appointment. And from then on, once your background check is complete, which is what the biometrics appointment is for, that's why they take the fingerprints, that's why they take the picture. Once it is complete, then the application can proceed, or petition, or in your case, the DV lottery, your green card. And then from then on, I think, that's it. There isn't really much, at least for, in most situations, like for example, for some petitions, for some applications, there is the next step before it is approved. Like for example, interview. I think you might be done already with the interview, especially since you're already here with your I-551, which is already a temporary permanent resident card. But now, doing the biometrics appointment, I'm thinking you're going to be getting the actual physical card. Although I'm thinking you might not have the I-551 itself just yet, because you are doing the biometrics appointment. But anyway, if you want if you want me to look into it more, definitely let me know in the follow-up comment, and I'll definitely look into that. But like I said, if it's as all the other biometrics appointments, it's very straightforward, absolutely nothing to worry about. They don't ask any kind of questions. It's not like an interview or anything like that. It's literally just picture and the fingerprint. That's really it. Okay, so let's move on to the next comment. Question from Vali HDH1587. Vali, thank you so much for another comment. Always appreciate your questions and comments. So Vali says, I have heard that interviews for immigrant visa are given at US Embassy in Rwanda, African country, faster than other places. as one of our friends who had pending immigration petition in U.S. Embassy in Islamabad has transferred his case from Pakistan to Rwanda while he was documentarily qualified and was a pending petition as his wife was sponsored him. Okay, last month he transferred his case to Rwanda and now he received an interview notice from U.S. Embassy in Rwanda on 3rd October 2023. Wow. He lives in Afghanistan and now he's planning to move to Rwanda to attend his interview. Do you think it is a good opportunity if we also transfer our case, F3, from Islamabad to Rwanda? As we are documentarily qualified, as well as our priority date has already passed 3 months ago. U.S. Embassy in Islamabad is too slow. Wow, Wally. So it sounds like it is definitely doable. And in the past couple days, doing these videos, I've been reading some comments about people changing their embassy location and their interview location. So, I mean, honestly, if it's doable for you, logistics-wise, because you got to keep in mind, you're traveling to a whole other country, you have to, it's expense, it's time, but, if it is doable, the only thing I'm thinking is like, if you do request to move it, well, first of all, how do you request it? You request it, I'm assuming, through NVC. You request a change of the interview location. And then since you're getting your email through the NVC, they notify you through the email, then I guess it doesn't really matter for them. I think it might raise additional questions, as usually it does, especially for like non-immigrant stuff. I'm thinking for immigrant stuff it should be the same way. Basically, why are you going through the interview here in Rwanda, for example, and not in Islamabad, since you're from Pakistan? But again, these questions, they can easily answer same way, just saying, just being honest and saying, yeah, U.S. Embassy in Islamabad is too slow. It's taking forever to schedule the, interview. So I transfer my case to here, to Rwanda. Honestly, what I would recommend you do, since your friend has already done it, I would find out in detail exactly what they've done, exactly how they requested to reschedule that, not reschedule, but change the location of, change the U.S. Embassy, change the location of the interview, just to be on the safe side, because you don't want to make any, unnecessary things that will slow down your case. So if you are comfortable doing all of that, then I don't see nothing wrong with it, especially if you have someone who already done it, who has the experience. So I would say just make sure go over the details, especially exactly how it was requested, because that's really my main kind of concern with it. How do you request the reschedule of the interview? And as always, keep us updated. Really appreciate the update, and good luck with that if you do decide to do the location change. Okay, moving further to Prasathragendran. Sorry, I'm probably mispronouncing the name. Sir, can you please make a video of how to apply online asylum application, please? And then another comment, sir, you can make an online application. So I don't think the asylum application is available online anymore. Let me double check. I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to demonstrate some navigation on usas.gov, which is the official government website for U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Again, this link for this page is in the description below. So from here, from this front page, we're gonna click on Forms, and then we're gonna click on All Forms right here. And then you can scroll down and find the form I-589 or I-539. I always confuse the two, but I think you can just, let's type I-589. Yeah, there you go. So it is I-589. You can just type it in here and it will come up. So let's go to this application page. And let's see, there is, may I file my form? Okay, filing instructions. Yeah, as you can see, it is no longer available to file online, this application. So you do, unfortunately, you do have to do it by hand, obviously, with the paper application. In the video that you are, I do have the video on this channel that is going over the paper application It's called I-589, application for asylum and withholding of removal, how to, step by step, something along those lines. But if you go with the video, for some people I'm going a little bit too fast, but I try to go at the speed, assuming that you are, your English is at least as good as mine, because my English is not it's not very good. I've been living here for a while, and I still get confused on a lot of things. But and also the use of computer, obviously, because with these, even the paper application, you do go online, you do find the instructions, the application form online. You do have to download it as a PDF file. You do have to open it on your computer, and I would highly recommend filling as much of it as possible on the computer, and then printing it already filled out and just signing it and just going over some of the fields that you were not able to fill out on the computer. And that prevents a lot of mistakes. So I am going at the speed that, assumes that you are, familiar with, computer more or less. You're comfortable filling out stuff on the computer. You're comfortable, on the internet, browsing the internet and stuff like this. So if I'm going too fast in those videos, I'm sorry, I apologize. But, it's, if you do struggle with, things like this, I would definitely recommend someone, qualified to provide help directly and be there with you to help you out, whether it is an attorney, whether it is an immigration practitioner. So let me I'm gonna post the link here in this comment right here, so that you can actually find the application form itself, which you can find on this page. And right here in form details, you will see this drop down, forms and document downloads. There you go, form I-589, and then instructions for form I-589. I would recommend reading through instructions very, very carefully. This application for asylum, I would say, is one of the more complicated applications in general whenever it comes to immigration, because first of all, there's a lot of information to fill out. And also, there is a lot of requirements, like making copies and making these different application packages, especially if you have more than, if you have any dependents that are being part of the application with you. So definitely make sure you go over it very, carefully. Okay, moving further to, I guess Shanuda Bekit, thank you so much, Shanuda, for saying thank you. As always, you're caring, I appreciate it. Shanuda is one of the top commenters on this channel and a public subscriber. Always appreciate your comments, Shanuda. Actually haven't heard from you in a while. I was wondering where the comments from you are. So appreciate you checking in. Okay, moving further to Denise. Denise is also one of the top commenters on this channel. So Denise says, "Hi sir, I became documentarily qualified on the first submission." Denise, I gotta say, that is impressive. Seriously, man, this is really impressive, because in most of the cases, at least all the cases I know and I personally dealt with, there was resubmission. And from people that are familiar, so good job, man, becoming documentarily qualified, first submission. That's cool, really cool. My case has been with the USCIS for over 6 years. How long will I be getting an interview if my case is expedited, and how does this affect my case over the years? I'm in the F11 category. Yeah, so you're F1. So it's, over the years, I wouldn't say, it's going to affect your case. There is no negative effect, okay, of being expedited. Not at all. If it is expedited, it's great. It's great because what happens when the case is expedited, because the requirements for expediting the case is being documentarily qualified and immigrant visa being available, that expedited process falls on U.S. Embassy directly. So now U.S. Embassy, they see that, okay, there is this case, this family reunification petition that is a priority because it was expedited by the NVC. So we need to accommodate it, and we need to schedule that interview faster for this petition. So really, expedited process is straight up directly for getting that interview faster. That's really it. So if they do approve it, that expedited request, it's great news. It's really fantastic news. And most of the times what happens is when US embassies, they see that the case was expedited, they reach out to you and then they try to accommodate basically a faster date. And sometimes they make an exception, sometimes they do some rescheduling, some rearranging, sometimes they allow you to come in on the days that are typically not for immigrant visa interviews, but like non-immigrant visa interviews, but you come in for an immigrant visa interview. So they whatever arrangement they make, that's good, but it also not very good, because as you would imagine, every US embassy around the world in different countries, they handle these expedited cases a little bit differently. Sometimes they try to work with you, sometimes they're like, well, our schedule is busy, we will do the best. So again, it's kind of really a gamble at this point. But for everyone, and for you, Denise as well, I would recommend, if you are documentarily qualified, if your immigrant visa is already available or your priority date is current, which is the same thing, then definitely submit the expedited request, because family reunification petitions, we all have a good enough reason to request expedited processing, because Denise, you've been waiting for 6 years, you've been just waiting for USCIS to review your petition, which is a long time. People are waiting a long time, and that's relatives of US citizens, relatives of permanent residents. So it is a good enough reason to request expedited processing, because you're saying that, hey, I've been waiting for so long to see my father, my mother, my kids, my brother, my sister, so it's definitely good enough reason. So go ahead and hey, I would not be surprised that if they do expedite your case, because you got documentarily qualified on first submission. Honestly, it's not related, but you did get documentarily qualified on first submission. So hey, give it a shot, and please do come back. Obviously, I know you will, and provide an update. But still, I'm gonna ask you anyway. Please do come back and let everyone know if it works out for you. Okay, moving further to Emmanuel Banks 195. Hi, I've just finished sending my I-129F forms plus requirements. Do I need to send my fiancé the same requirements, evidences that I sent with the forms? Okay, so I'm assuming you are referring to sending to your fiancé basically for the interview at the U.S. Embassy for the visa. Yes, absolutely. You definitely do want to send the copies of these documents so that your fiancé has it. So that once they go for that interview at the U.S. Embassy, they have the same exact documents that have been submitted with the form I-129F. Now, that one, you want that in one folder. And then in the next folder, a separate folder, if there are any major updates along the way, then you want to have that in a separate folder as well, just in case if a question comes up. And major updates, I'm talking like there's a move, there's a huge career change, there's a big change in financial situation or whatever, something along those lines. Have those documents in a separate folder. But yeah, definitely, you definitely want your fiancé to have that for the interview, so that if anything comes up, if any question come up, readily available. Boom, there you go. Okay, moving further to the next question from Kosar Hussein 8151. Thanks for replying my previous comment. You asked some questions to know when do I get interview appointment since I documentarily qualified. Yes, so priority date is August 2018, documentarily qualified on April 2023, visa class F21, so F2A. I am from Iraq and my interview location is in Abu Dhabi. Referencing to your question of why my interview is in Abu Dhabi, yes, thank you so much for addressing this. The interview location is being settled from NBC because of the situation running in Iraq. I see, okay. I hope you answer my question of when do I have a chance to have my interview appointment. Sincerely. Kosars, thank you so much for following up. I really do appreciate it. You didn't just follow up, you provided literally everything I asked. So it really means a lot. I appreciate it. So your priority is August 2018. You're in F2A category. F21, that is, it's not really, whenever you see categories like F11 or F21, it's not really 1121, it's F1.1. F2.2 or .1. It's kind of like subcategories of the main family preference categories. So F21 is an F2A, so let's take a look at the visa bulletin. I think it is on January 2018. You're definitely in all chargeability area, and yes, it is on January 2018. Your priority date is August 2018, which means you are roughly, let's see, January is 1, and then August is 8. So you are like 7 months away. You are roughly 7 months away from your priority date becoming current, and that's when your immigrant visa becomes available. And roughly around that time, that's when you should be expecting your interview. I don't know if I'm thinking you are familiar with the visa bulletin, but if there was a time for you to stay on top of the visa bulletin, checking it every week, I would say, although it doesn't change every week, it changes every month, but it is now. You definitely want to stay on top of the visa bulletin. Now, we are in September 2023. October 2023 should be coming out literally like anytime now. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe, because as soon as the October 2023 comes out, and you can check it from this page here, you see it says coming soon, literally next, I would say it might be later today. Honestly, it might be like anytime now. Once it comes up, I'll make a video and I will discuss the differences, the movement between the month of September and October. So hopefully there will be a good solid movement for F2A. But we will see. But yes, as of right now, as of September 2023, roughly you're looking at about 7 months. Okay, and thank you very much for answering about that, scheduling of the interview, So NVC, they did it themselves. I thought you were requesting maybe to have the interview specifically in Abu Dhabi, but looks like NVC did it themselves. Okay, let's move on to the next question from Jolene Smith, 3846. Can a person with a pending asylum case status apply for a license to carry a gun? Okay, Jolene, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. So the general requirement, right? Whenever you're looking at those, I think they're called firearms transfer forms, one of those firearm transfer forms, whenever you're buying it through a dealer and whenever they have to do their background check to sell you the firearm, on there there is a clause. See, I'm English struggling with words. There is a clause on there that is asking whether the person is, a resident of the United States of America. This clause is interpreted differently. Sometimes they say resident as someone who is a permanent resident of the United States of America. And sometimes, especially in some states that are more firearm friendly, let's just say that. Like, for example, if you're in New York, if you're in Illinois, that these are not California, these are not firearm friendly states. So over there, most likely, they will look, say, oh, you're pending asylum, especially pending asylum. They'll say, no, we can't sell you a firearm. But in more firearm friendly states, I have seen exemptions, not the exemptions, but I have seen them interpreting that being a resident, someone who is a resident of the state, who is living in the state, who, if you are an immigrant, do you have a legal immigrant status? Which you do, because you are in pending asylum case. And that is, legal immigrant status. Pending asylum is it's kind of an absence of the status, but at the same time it is recognized as a legal status. You are legally in the country, and you can go and apply for driver's license and stuff like this, with the notice that you received saying that your application for asylum is now pending. So depending on which state, and again, depending on the dealer that you go to, so I would say if you are, if there is a situation where you're in fear for your life, because there's a lot of circumstances, that people go through. I don't know what's going on, but you can judge the situation better. So if there is a situation where I'm going with this, where you think that you fear for your life and you do need a way to protect yourself, if you are especially in the state that is more firearm friendly, I would recommend going to multiple firearms dealers, multiple gun stores, and just talking to them and explaining the situation, explaining that if they're not familiar with what the pending asylum is, kind of explaining them briefly, and seeing if because sometimes I've seen they do this form, they send it for the background check, and I've seen it for people with pending asylum, the background check clear, and then being able to buy a firearm. So Jolene, good luck with that. I hope my answer was helpful, and I hope you will be able to figure this out. And thank you everyone for asking your questions today. If you have any follow-up questions, don't hesitate to ask them in the comments below. Just make sure don't respond to my comment within your comment, because YouTube does not send me those notifications. For whatever reason, just submit it as a separate comment under any of the video, and I will see it here on this comment wall. So thank you so much everyone for your time. God bless, and I'll see you all in the next video.